teaspoon of Chinese 5-spice, half a teaspoon of black pepper, quarter of a cup of hoisin sauce, about a quarter cup, making a mess, and 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sherry cooking wine. Smells pretty good. And 2 tablespoons of honey. It's not coming off the spoon very good. There's 1 tablespoon. This is a recipe I got off the internet for pork. A pork marinade. It's like a Chinese barbecue called Char Siu. Char Siu. There's the honey. I really didn't want to use the brown sugar, but I didn't have the time to go out and get any Splenda brown sugar, so just did with what I had. It calls for a quarter of a cup of brown sugar. This is light brown sugar, so quarter cup. Next we're going to put our garlic in there. I'll probably shut the camera off for that because I got to clean the garlic. I should have done that before I started recording. So we'll be right back. The pork chops have been marinating in the refrigerator overnight. And this is just extra sauce to baste it with after it comes out of the oven. I'm so tired of eating plain pork chops. We always season them with McCormick's poultry seasoning. Put them on a grill. You heat them up, eat them. I'm going to try something different. That's why I stumbled on this. I actually got this recipe from Sam the cooking guy. He was trying to make a better McRib, so he did it with ribs, and he did a traditional pork shoulder, which was what you'd find in the an Asian restaurant. So I decided to use pork chops because that's what we had. And they've been marinating in this same sauce overnight. And we're getting ready to throw them in the oven. After I get done messing around with this garlic. I should just buy some minced garlic, it'd be a lot easier. I didn't even give me anything out of that one. But I tell you what, it smells wonderful. It smells delightful. So this that I just made, this sauce I just made, is to baste it with after. I got a phone call right in the middle of recording. So I don't know if it kicked the camera off or what, but I looked over, it wasn't recording. So I don't know if you've seen any of what I just did. I will have to check it in the computer. If it didn't record, here's a rundown. Here are the ingredients I used. The Chinese 5-spice, black pepper, hoisin sauce, soy sauce, the sherry cooking wine, honey, brown sugar, and garlic. And later we're going to use the torch. And over here are my pork chops that have been marinating overnight in this same marinade that we're going to baste it with after it cooks in the oven at 350 degrees for close to 2 hours. What we're going to do is, I made this rack, by the way, that's why there's a spoon under it, so it doesn't sag. Got it at the dollar store, had to cut it out. Here's a piece I had to cut out to make it fit. But I'm going to pour vinegar, 2 tablespoons of vinegar down in here. We're going to lay our pork chops on here, cover it with tin foil so it'll just steam the whole time, and that's the way it's going to cook. Just put 2 tablespoons of white vinegar in the bottom of your pan, and that's going to steam and tenderize the pork chops. I got my 2 tablespoons of vinegar in there. There's my 3 pork chops that have been marinating for 24 hours. And now we're going to cover it with aluminum foil and slide it in the oven. And we'll see what it looks like here in a couple hours. Alright, here we go. We were in the oven for about, I don't know, an hour. It's at 169 degrees. It was at 170 something when I first pulled it out. So I put the rest of the sauce in the microwave to try to help solidify the sugar and all that. So we're going to take our little baster thing here. I'm going to make a mess because we're trying to do this with one hand. And we're going to put our barbecue sauce all over the pork chop. Okay. We'll take the meat thermometer out, put him off to the side, and we'll take this and cover each pork chop with our homemade sauce. It smells wonderful. And then we're going to take a blowtorch to it. Yep. And we're going to caramelize the sauce and render some of the fat. So here comes the blowtorch. I'm going to set the house on fire. Hopefully not. the same way. I'll be right back. Believe it or not, I actually set off my smoke detector. Did you see the little bit of the brown char? Crisping the fat up a little bit, and that's the whole point. Well, there you go. I will let you know here in a few minutes if they're any good. So right as soon as I pulled these out of the oven, throwed my dish up here on the stove, uncovered it, put my meat thermometer in there, checked it. It was 170 some degrees in the center of the pork chops. Jessica calls me and says, "Hey, I don't have no lunch." I said, "Well, that's great. I just got these pork chops done." And then we throw one on a plate. And she's like, "Yeah." She only works up the street. So I throw one on a plate, take it up to her, we cut it up and eat it. And it has a very sweet, gingery flavor. It definitely has a large flavor profile, and it needs something to go with it. You have to have a side to go with it. Noodles, potato, something to, not to knock down the flavor, but just to balance the flavor, I guess you would say. But all in all, I would probably make this again. It was a little bit of work, wasn't too bad. You've seen the ingredients, so yeah, it's not too bad. And it was pretty good. It's definitely different for a change. So there you have it. I couldn't cut it up and eat it in front of you because I had to go eat in the car with her. But Char Siu barbecue pork chops.